Hello, 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 hello. Testing one, two, three. What is up to myself? Because I'm looking at myself. What is up to all my fellow humans out there in the world? My fellow energy particles, my fellow self. You know, I really do feel like in a way we're all connected. And I really do feel like everything that we perceive is just a projection of what we're feeling inside. I think everything's pretty much neutral. Naturally, everything's neutral. And today, I recorded a short, or not short, almost 20-minute video on my phone because I was feeling fairly filled with thoughts. And I was able to expel my body of all these thoughts. And for whatever reason, I decided to hook this up and record more just because I figured it'd be good to talk. I feel like I haven't really just talked, just talk, 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 talk. And to be honest right now with you guys, I'm kind of hungry right now. My stomach haven't eaten very much. I ate some yogurt for breakfast and then I ate a sandwich from Einstein's Bagels. And then that's the last thing I ate aside from a couple snacks. But yeah, I'm out here tuning in from Houston, Texas. They call this the Rubik's cube room. The whole room is themed Rubik's. So you even have one of these babies right here. And I guess I got out most of pretty much what I wanted to say in the video I did on my phone. But I just wanted to do this video just to like almost just kind of really, really squeeze out whatever I have inside of me. And also just to really continue to get myself comfortable with just talking straight from the mind and not being concerned about the audience or the people that may listen to this, because I want to be honest with everything I say. I want to be honest with what I'm doing. I don't want to just talk as if I'm someone who knows the answers and talk like from a point where I'm trying to prove that what I'm saying is that I'm right, because for sure I've caught myself like that sometimes when I feel like I've quote unquote figured something out and then someone tells me like different from what I believe, and then it's almost like I have to like protect what I believe to be true, and I try to like prove it to somebody that what I'm saying is the truth, and that's not the reality. And that's why I just kind of came to that revelation. It never felt good trying to like hold on and like say that my point was right. It was almost like it took a shot at my ego, and just like my natural instinct was to like fight back to whomever I was talking to, and try to prove that what I'm saying is is the right decision or is the right idea. Like, I'm not sure exactly where that came from, this idea of wanting to be right, but it's just an attachment to the ego, just a lack of perspective, I think, from my part, and a lack of understanding for what the big picture is. I think the better understanding I've had for the bigger picture, the more macro and fundamental perspective, it's humbled me more and more every time. And it's made me a lot calmer, peaceful, and happier because I'm not sitting here trying to convince anybody that what I'm saying is true. Because what I now believe is like, the truth is only what I believe to be true is nearly only true for myself. Because my reality is completely unique to myself. I believe that we all have a lot of similarities and we all experience things, and there's a certain level of resemblance that we all have of each other, but we also each have a unique experience. Nobody else has the exact experience that you do. The same exact name, the same exact parents, you know, the same exact age, the same exact experience. Like I peed myself in elementary school and I walked to I asked the teacher if I can go use the restroom and she said no because I was like in trouble, and so she said I couldn't go to the restroom. And then I went to the corner and I peed myself by the water fountain. And then by some chance no one found out it was me. But like that's not happened to anybody in that exact particular way at that exact moment at that exact school with that exact teacher. Like that exact moment that lives very vividly in my mind, that's never existed for anybody. I'm sure there's people who have similar stories. There's a lot of similarities that we all have, and which is beautiful, which is really beautiful, and it's inspiring. And I've been inspired countless times from people who share their story, and I'm so enlightened to see that people are experiencing very similar things to me, and it's motivated me a lot of times to persevere what I've, you know, persevering past fears and insecurities. But I want to continue to talk about this, what I'm talking about this whole idea of wanting to prove that I'm right. I was doing that, and it still happens to me sometimes also where like I just take things personal. Where someone kind of tells me something and they're not critiquing me in a like in a poisonous way. Like they're just giving me honest feedback, and it's almost like I try to like convince that person that, oh well, like well, I'm actually just doing this, like that's why you think it's that way, but like really I'm just kind of doing this. It's kind of like trying to explain to that person like why it is that I'm doing that to begin with, but it's simply because I take offense to it in a way, and I'm trying to like protect my ground, when in reality like that doesn't feel good either. Like I've never felt good doing that either. It just felt unnecessary. A lot of these things that I've done, it's unnecessary. And right now what I've been progressing towards, what I've been shifting towards is that I'm simplifying the entirety of my life. When I message people now, when I post things, before I used to put a lot of stuff, emojis, and I would like overcomplicate what I wanted to say because I was insecure about how people may perceive it. So I wanted to like make sure to say what I'm saying from like 3 different angles, so then I couldn't get like hit back with something, if that makes sense. And so I'm just like, no, like there's a simple point that I want to make, and I'm going to make it simple, even if it may be perceived in a particular way, which might get someone to criticize me. When in fact, it's probably not going to happen a lot of times. It's a way, I've experienced this, and it's been a way more peaceful way of living because I'm really just being myself to a much higher honest level. And the revelation which came to me, which really helped a lot, and me not wanting to like defend my point anymore, is that it's like, dude, everyone, like I said, is coming from a very unique place. It does not make sense for me to try to tell someone else that my truth is your truth as well. Even because I think the reason I would really try to hammer my point was because I a lot of the truth that I have is like I keep it like very simple and fundamental. But the thing is that everybody's in a very particular place and time. So regardless of how specific and how wonderful I think what I believe to be true is good, it's not about me. That's the biggest point. It's not about me. It's not about what I believe. It's not about what I think you should do. It's not about it's not none of that. When I talk to somebody, when I am there caring for somebody, it's not about me and my thoughts and how I think this is right for you. It's not. That's completely, and this is just what I've learned from my experience. Like, that's just me trying to feed my own ego to show that what I'm doing is right. And to show that what I'm doing is like, yeah, it's just feeding my ego with the idea of what I'm doing is right. And it's probably just trying to overcome some insecurity or doubt in myself that what I'm doing may not be right. So that I'm trying to like prove it to every person that I'm right. And then it's like it stacks up these points for me when it's just ridiculous. Because the truth of the matter is, like, I've seen the most effectiveness with my conversations with people when I just listen to them and I just ask questions. And it feels so much better. It doesn't feel good to try to convince someone that they should do this or that this is the right way. Like, that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good at all. It just literally just feels gross. Like, it feels nasty. Like, I'm really just trying to fill myself. But, I'm also at a point that if I do something like that, I don't judge myself anymore. I more quickly recognize what I was doing and how it doesn't feel good. And then I just focus on my breathing. Basically recalibrate myself. Just find some equilibrium with that anxiety. I increase the intensity with my breathing until the anxiety matches that intensity. And then I'll do longer forms of inhale, longer and slower, and then longer, slower exhale. High intensity to match up the anxiety. Just really just kind of ground me, and then just slow it all down so then I really get grounded and see things more objectively. But yeah, that's really where it's been. And a book that's been helping me a lot recently, I'm only like 30 pages in, 40 pages in, but it's called The Four Agreements. It's by, the author's called Don Miguel Ruiz. And it's called The Four Agreements because it's basically four agreements that you make with yourself, and these agreements has a very positively influential effect on you. And I've only read, like I said, 30 pages of the book, but it really resonated with me. And it's just kind of things that I already kind of semi understood, but the book just really solidified it for me. And it's just like one of the things that's coming straight to my mind is like the book mentions how every one of us we're all just existing within our own universe. And every time that I cast judgment upon somebody else, I'm really just casting judgment upon myself. If I say, hey, you're fat and you're stupid, I'm creating negativity in the world, because if I judge you like that, especially if I tell you that, you are not going to like me. So I'm going to have hatefulness towards me, or negativity, or sadness. I've created sadness. And in some shape or form, that's also going to resonate with me. And the big thing is that, like I said, like everybody's existing in their own universe. Everybody, in spite of being a family man, or being a son and a brother, or a wife or a husband. Like, ultimately, from my own experience, it feels like we all just, we're all existing in our own universe, really. and we all need our individual moments to reflect upon ourselves, and because otherwise we may start to become ingenuine with what we're doing. And I bring all this up because in recognizing that we all exist in our own world and we're all in different places, it really kind of helped me to understand that if I want to feel good about these conversations, because they've never felt right when I try to prove to somebody, nor was it effectful. It never actually helped anybody. But asking questions and listening, it's like the most beautiful thing. It's genuine compassion. And there's a certain level of connectivity and a certain level of beauty that comes from that, because when you ask someone and you look someone in the eye and you really listen to them, like it's amazing, it's beautiful, and like it just humbles you, because it's like you're finally just letting go of this ideology that you think is true, like, and I'm not trying to prove anything anymore. And in the past podcast, there's been podcasts in the past that I've listened to myself, and it was like, I know for sure I had moments like that. Maybe some of you guys realized it. Like, a guest would say something, or we'd be talking about something, and I try to drill my point in, or my perspective, when it's just like, dude, like, I don't actually know anything in terms of like the answer for you or anybody else. Like, the only thing that I can do, and I think that is genuine from myself, is simply to talk about straight from my mind about what I feel, what I've experienced, and just maybe hypothesis based on the observations that I've made. But I could never say, nor would I ever hope for anybody to take everything I say and take it literal without a grain of salt. Like, everything that I say is just from one person's perspective. And it feels significantly better to really just talk from my mind and not, and I've limited myself, and I'm kind of refining this, is that I'm not saying like, oh, well, I think people should, or I feel like in the world there's a lot of this. Like, no, I just want to tell you guys about what I feel, what I've experienced. I'll tell you guys some personal anecdotes, and that's it. Like, I'm just gonna be me and just talk from my mind. I'm not gonna try to talk that I really know the answer for anybody. In fact, yeah, I finally just kind of learned that, and I let go of that ego part of me that was trying to like hold on to this, and then that created it so that I would take things personal. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And but there's a beauty to that. There really is a beauty to that, because for anyone to ever be truly happy, you made it there on your own. And completely opposite, you made it there completely not on your own. You know, just a lot of serendipitous events leading to that moment, that moment that led you to become happy. But then again, it's like there was a lot of decisive moments and moments of overcoming fears which led you to become happy. I like to think there's a two side, there's always a double perspective. And this is all just, I'm just talking from the mind, guys, and maybe I'm just going to talk. I could even sit here and say I hope it resonates with somebody, but honestly, I'm doing this because it's therapeutic and it feels natural for me to do it. The consequences of me talking from my mind, I'm not expecting anything. You know, I could be here and hope that many people like what I'm saying, and I expect a lot, but I don't even care or desire to focus on that, because it would take away from this what I'm doing right now, being in the moment and talking straight from my mind and just being 100% honest. Like, and I genuinely believe that if somebody is honest, there's going to be somebody out there that is probably going to be touched by it. Because, and I say this only because many of the things that I've been inspired by are just people just being. It's not even trying to do anything. It's just them being what they are. And yeah, that's really my whole thing coming on this podcast moving forward, is that I'm not going to try. I'm not going to try to be a great podcaster. I'm not going to try to make my guest feel good or try to sound like I'm something. I'm just going to be me. And I'm just going to listen, and I'm just going to talk, and I'm just going to listen, and I'm just going to talk, and I'm just going to connect to this art form that I'm practicing, this, just having conversation and thoughts. This is a type of art. I see this as an art form, to just talk and to create some type of flow and to create some type of rhythm, to be honest with you guys, when I first started this mic, felt kind of tired, and I wasn't, I didn't really have any thoughts that were kind of flowing or any time, I didn't feel that flow, but I just kind of slowly started off, and then slowly one idea kind of built to the next, and it kind of led to that. And it's just kind of all just cultivated. And I think that's what feels most fulfilling for me, when I'm just genuinely being honest, and I'm not trying to be like, yo, like, check out the room I'm in, or like, yo, what's up, guys? Like, welcome to the Art of Human, like, blah, 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 blah. Of course, there's going to be moments where I am like that, because I do have moments where I'm just hella excited, but I'm not going to be extra. I'm not going to try to facilitate the cadence of my voice. I have faith that everything will come together as time goes on, because as I become more actualized, as I become more comfortable in my own skin, I have more dexterity and I have more ability to pick up the pace, to talk a little bit faster, to then maybe slow it down, and not be so anxious about, wow, there's going to be a 5-second pause. Like, the more I just keep being myself, I know that I'm going to go into a deeper state of flow, and I'm going to have more experience with this whole art form. And yeah, I know I'm only going to progress being myself like that on a personal level. So yeah, whomever may be listening to this or watching this, I hope you're having a beautiful day whenever you might be, whether it's nighttime, whether it's daytime, whether it's midday, whether you're in California, whether you're in Texas, whether you're in Nebraska, whether you're in Florida, whether you're in another European country, wherever you might be. I genuinely wish you the best. I wish you a hug. I wish you a smile. And that is it, guys. That is it. A moment in time. Peace out.